By the way, Alex, you mentioned something in passing, Overwatch. I've been playing a little bit of Overwatch because the Lunar New Year event is happening. But I just want to vent a little bit of frustration here
We're here
because
for you. Come here.
the BlizzCon schedule was put out, and there is a severe lack of like panels scheduled for Overwatch, like Overwatch 2 new content. Like there's like a behind the scenes the development of Overwatch 2. There's a voice actors panel. I'm starting to get worried about Overwatch 2 because they've put the brakes on any significant content for Overwatch 1 for a while now. And they're like, all right, well, don't worry. We're going to put all this stuff in Overwatch 2. It's like, yeah, but like we could have had it already in Overwatch 1 if you just released the characters that you're saving for Overwatch 2. I know we're getting new modes and everything in Overwatch 2, you know, eventually whenever it comes out. But like, I feel like the Overwatch community's kind of been hung out to dry. And it's really frustrating to go back and play it now. And it's like the 3 characters we could have had by now are because saved for Overwatch 2, which may not come out for another year or two at this point. Who even knows what the status of that is? I'm sure we'll learn more when BlizzCon happens later this month. But like, I don't know, man. Are you as frustrated as I am as somebody who's played Overwatch quite a bit?
It's something where, I mean, yes, because like, you know, if we would have talked right after the cover, the Blizzard cover we did, and we got like good gameplay chunks, like I would have been shocked to know that, you know, we're not getting Overwatch 2 in 2021. Then the pandemic happened, so you know that we have to take that into account too. And that's the lens I try to keep looking at these things. Like we don't know what we don't know, right? Like maybe it was going to be fall 2021, and maybe pandemic just pushed that. You know what I mean? But I agree with you on the fact that it does feel like there should be a new influx of characters, right? There should be more or maps, you know what I mean? Just something to keep that community going, because it's still, you know, at least on Xbox, it still has legs.
So we got the Kanazaka map, which is only in Team Deathmatch, which is like a mode that is not a destination in Overwatch. And it's like we still get new skins every event, but like I don't know, man. Like I feel like they need to change up the meta a little bit and not in frivolous ways. Like, all right, well now Winston's garbage. It's like, no, just when you insert a new character, that always swaps out the meta unless the character is super underpowered. But like, you know, I need a new puzzle to solve in that game.
Because you're too good at this point.
It's just like I want something fun to look at. I want a new lens to look at this game with. Like there's a reason that I only play like 1 or 2 nights every 4 weeks because there's a new event. Like I just want to get like the arcade boxes, and I want to get a few loot boxes to level up in the new skins. And it's like, all right, well, guess I'll see you whenever the next event starts.
I will say the skins this season are really, really cool. I finally got an Orisa skin that I love. But yeah, I mean, I wish there was some sort of olive branch that was like, you know, maybe a new character, something like that. But you know, it's that thing where it's, I mean, we're all gonna play it when it comes out, or you know, like I am as a big Overwatch guy. Shay, I know you are. I don't know, Paris and Ben, if you guys are big Overwatch people or not, but it's
one of my favorite games of all time. So don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, this game is garbage. It's just like, come on, like this is the living game, and it's just kind of been like doing what we've all been doing, just sitting at home, not progressing at all.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things where maybe Blizzard, they probably already knew this, but just learning that you can't, it's hard to make a new game and continue to support an old game at the same time, especially if you're not going to like devote separate teams to it. So I imagine they had to pull people off of the Overwatch 1 team to finish up Overwatch 2.
Yeah, that's what they said about the Kanazaka map that we did get. Was it was just they did not plan that. The only reason it came out was because they brought on a new level designer onto the Overwatch team. And he just kind of whipped it up like, hey, look at this thing that I made. And they're like, oh, this is really good. Let's put this out on TDM. And so it's like, yeah, even like the stuff that we have gotten has been like a happy accident.
Can you imagine being that talented at something where you're like, yeah, I just sketched this up, like whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, this is in this game that millions of people play every day.
Yeah.
Just casually. Yeah. Maybe one day. Probably not.
But that was just the frustration that I needed to get out there. Sorry.
For sure. I mean,
but I think you bring up the point though. A lot of this is the pandemic. I think we're going to see a lot of things that probably should be coming out this year that are just going to get pushed into 2022. So something that should be as ambitious as Overwatch 2, I'd imagine, look, there may or may not have been some lessons learned with like not putting games out before they're ready. So I think they're probably going to take their time and make sure they get it right versus just getting it out the door because of the demand. And then obviously with COVID, that just pushes everything back, slows it all down.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just wanting, if there's not going to be anything coming, I just want some communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That is key. We absolutely need, I think even more so this year than ever, these publishers and developers need to communicate with the community to let them know.
I think right now is that time where you get the benefit of the doubt too because of COVID.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Exactly.
We didn't really suffer too much in 2020. Well, at least in terms of game releases, like we definitely had plenty of game releases, but I think that's just like, you're right. The pandemic is eventually going to affect all that, and we'll probably feel that more this year.
Yeah,
unfortunately. So hopefully developers will start to be open and honest with, the rollout and how things are looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.